Welcome to the torahbirthing podcast. My name is Batya Khan. I'm a Kala teacher and birth educator, and my mission is to help you have an awesome transition into motherhood so you could fulfill your tafkid with support and recognize the power that you have. The Torah is not just history, it's the guide for our lives, and it's a great way to work on mindset too. It's important to know, it's important to learn. Are you ready? Let's do this.
Hi, welcome back to the podcast. It's been a while since we talked about all of the stuff that you can do to feel confident and actually prepare for your birth. So today we're going to talk about what happens when finances get in the way. What should you do if you cannot afford a doula or you can't afford the best doula that's out there that you really want? And before we get into today's topic, I want to ask you a favor. I want to talk about topics that are really relevant to you and to your birth experience. So I'm wondering if you could help me out. There's a comment box in the show notes. If you can drop your question over there, I'm just going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to see it. It's going to come to me. Or you can WhatsApp me. So it's private and that it's not traceable to you at all if you want to be anonymous, or you can email me, or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. I am available on all of those, and all of that will be in the show notes. So please check it out, and I will be able to talk about your topic and talk about your question. So today I want to talk about this topic because it's extremely important. And I'm going to have a hard time with this a little bit because I do have to say I might get doulas who aren't too happy with me because of this. And honestly, I'm like, maybe I am going to put myself out of business. Like, what am I actually doing to myself? I'm going to share all the real things about finances and doulas. So this is a real life question that is, because like having a kid is so expensive and having the birth that you want requires investment. So you want to make sure that you're investing in the best way possible. And a doula is one of the massive costs that comes into that. So I recently had a woman tell me that she was so sad and she really wanted a certain doula, but she had to go with a cheaper doula because of finances. And so I have a unique perspective on this because for one of my births, I was a doula who couldn't afford a doula. So I've been on both sides of the issue. So I understand everything that goes into being a doula. I have that background of things. I understand the things that you might not think about. And I want you to think about them for a second. Just what it's like to have somebody who is on call for you from 37, 38 weeks till you give birth. And it's just weeks of when you don't know when you're going to give birth. And I even had a client with a preterm labor scare, and I was there. Like, I dropped everything and I went. So being ready to drop everything. Somebody who is just there for you and fully invested in you and going to be supportive of you and your birth. And it's crazy because the unpredictability of birth, and it could be long hours. You never know. There's births that are 3 hours long and there's births that are 5 days long. So to be prepared for all of it and to have someone on your team for all of it, that is literally gold. And I know that you want to use out your full investment into your birth in the best way. So you might be saying, how do I make sure to prioritize this in the highest, best way for me that's financially beneficial and I'm actually prioritizing my birth goals? Okay. So the first thing that I want to tell you because I want to tell you two things. So the first thing I want to tell you is that your birth is worth investing in. And I say that birth is an investment because birth really is an investment. And birth is something that if you haven't experienced it yet, you might not fully get what I'm talking about, but you will get it. It's one of those things that stays with you and is such an intense experience of your life. It's your baby being born. No matter how it happens or where it goes down, this is something that women remember for years. And it should be your most empowering and one of the best empowering experiences of your life. So you want to stack the cards in your favor. Because I will tell you that on the flip side of it, women who feel disempowered in their births and feel like they can't do it, they carry that with them. And the statistic is that 1 in 3 women are experiencing birth trauma. And about 1 in 3 births in the United States is a C-section. And about half of those are unnecessary C-sections. And a C-section is a major abdominal surgery. If it's unnecessary, that's a hard thing to deal with. Obviously, C-sections are amazing and life-saving when necessary. But an unnecessary one, that's a hard pill to swallow and a hard thing to deal with. So these are all things that you want to think about when you're thinking about your birth investment. Because if you don't stack the cards in your favor, how expensive emotionally and mentally and in recovery from it is it going to be? What is the cheaper side of the story in the end of things? Okay, so doulas, without saying anything about price points or different things, they aren't charging randomly. They are worth it. So doulas statistically lower the chances of C-section, lower the chances of any interventions that haven't happened in birth. They support better outcomes throughout, right? It's somebody who's on your team for your entire birth experience. So they're just there for you. They're not there for your baby. They're not there looking at all the medical charts and then making sure. Obviously, doulas should know what's going on and what's flying in the room, and they should have the birth knowledge. But they're not making sure that anything else besides for your best comfort and your best experience and your best outcomes. And there's some doulas that have different trainings, and you can ask your doulas that you're interviewing about their different trainings. But usually with the price point will come more experience, more training, a different value that you get from that doula. And doulas can really help in hands-on ways to get your labor to progress, to really help get it going and to help with positioning and to help bring your baby down with all of the techniques and all the different modules that they know and what they have in their tool bag. And just they make it a better experience for you. So that is something to take into account. With the price point is what you are going to get. So what if you cannot afford the best doula with all the certifications who has 30 years of experience? By the way, it might not be the best doula for you. You also have to make sure that you click with your doula, that you're comfortable with her there, that you can say or do anything in front of her, right? You have to make sure of that because you're bringing her into a very intimate space. So don't just choose anybody. You got to be comfortable with them first. Even if they're most experienced and you're not comfortable, it's not going to work. It's not going to be good. If you're not comfortable in birth, that could be detrimental to you too. So you want to pick the most experienced doula, the most trained doula, that you're comfortable with. But how do you do this if you cannot afford the best? So this woman who was telling me, she was choosing between these two doulas, and she had to choose the cheaper, less experienced, less trained one. So what if you cannot afford the best doula, or what if you cannot afford a doula at all? So this brings me to my second point. Having support is crucial. You should not be doing this on your own. You shouldn't have to do this in an emotional, mental way on your own. Obviously, you have your doctor, you have your midwife, whichever one you chose, but they are not fully there with you. Your doula or your birth support person is there with you. So you want that support, but that support person, be it a doula or be it your husband, your mother, your sister, whoever, they are only as good as you are. And this is the key. This is the real key. If you take nothing away from this, I want you to take this away. You need to prepare yourself for birth, because you need to be the birth queen. So you're the queen of this room. You're the queen of this birthing space, and you're the one in charge. Everybody else is serving you, because in one way or another, you're paying them to be there. And you're allowing them into your space. So if it's your mother or your sister or your friend who is doing you a favor, that is so nice, but it is still your important space. And you're paying your doctor, you're paying your midwife, you're paying the nurse. All of the people who are in that room answer to you. And so, as a doula, I've been to different types of births, and I have all of these tools in my bag and knowledge of how to help it progress and how to make you more comfortable and how I can help advocate for you. And so I have all of these things and everything that I have in my arsenal, in my bag. And as a doula, and all doulas, we do help statistically. But what I noticed is a crucial key and a crucial difference. There's a radical difference when you are prepared for birth, when you have a birth plan, when you're the birth queen, when you're confident and stand for what you want, even if you can't talk. Because as a doula, what I can do is I can say, hey, she said this, look at her birth plan. If there's nothing wrong, this is what she wants done. If everything's looking good, this is her preference. She spelled it out clearly for you. Because you can turn your doula, your mother, your husband, your sister, or whoever you have there into a 100 times better doula for you. Your doula is as good as you are. Even the best doulas out there, by the way. If you are not knowing what's going on, if you're not standing up for yourself, your doula is going to be less good. Your doula is going to be better if you are confident and more prepared. And I'm saying this from experience and speaking to women on both sides of this story. So, with a full understanding, I'm also talking to you first-time mothers. Even if you've never experienced this before, you can walk into it confident. You can be that queen in the room. You could be the boss and move the room. You could do this too. Even when you're in a painful and vulnerable state, even if you're having a hard time. Because Hashem gave you the power to have this baby, And you can totally be the queen of this experience. And let me tell you, a queen has support. A queen has people around her who are catering to her every need and doing everything she wants. This is a Bas Melech, the daughter of the king. A queen knows what she wants also. She's always telling people and ordering people around. Yes, she has her advisors and people who are telling her what they think is best, but she thinks about it and she puts it through her own brain. And that's what you are going to do. You are that queen. You are going to have that support. You're going to know what you want. You're going to ask for advice. You're going to discuss it. And you are going to be able to pass it on to your doula or pass it on to whoever is supporting you and get 100 times better support. Okay? This is how you make that happen. Your doula is only as good as you are, no matter who she is, no matter what. And this is what I want to offer you. This is why I'm so passionate about childbirth education that really centers you as the boss. So it doesn't just teach you about the options and everything that you need to know about the labor and birth process, but it really focuses on you. Your thoughts, your fears, your worries, your control, and your relationship to Hashem, where you give away that control, where you step into that confidence, where you are that creator queen. And I know you can do this for your birth. And I know that it takes support and it takes an advisor and it takes learning and really working on this experience. So that's why I have an offer for you. I have the torahbirthing Academy that I am opening the doors to, and I'm going to put the link to the waitlist attached to this podcast episode so you can actually get on the list. If you are having your baby soon, you deserve to have this confidence. You deserve to feel this good about the experience. And you deserve to be this queen of your experience. You deserve that. And this is how you make your own best doula. You take the course first, you go through the process, and then you decide about a doula. And then you decide how good is the doula going to be. How good am I? How good is that doula? And you can rock this in a mind-blowing way with Hashem's help. And I am so excited to share more details about torahbirthing Academy so that you can really, really shine in this process. And I am looking forward to speaking in the next episode.
I would love to hear what you think. Message me on Instagram @torahbirthing or send me an email torahbirthing@gmail.com.